I had an empty space. I walked in here every time I went to get a storage item that had been up here, and it was covered in dust and it drove me nuts. So I knew I needed to finish the space, but then I also felt like I was missing a home gym. My house is great. I'm very lucky to have a great home, but I didn't like working out in the bedroom. So knowing that we had this extra space, wanted to utilize it for not only storage, but then that added benefit of getting the gym in here as well. I Googled. Good old Google, went with a few people that came over and gave me quotes, and I chose C3 based on a couple of reasons. Responsiveness, professionalism, and the ability to meet my timeline, and I'm very happy with the results. So one of the reasons I chose C3 was I wanted to make sure this was done right. So I was confident in what we discussed on site, and then went through the proposal process, and they said that they would handle all of the contracting for me. So having someone that could handle all of contracting, permits, making sure the city of Frisco was involved and everything was up to code was super important for me. Not only to make sure everything was done correctly, but then for the resale value of my home. This was about, I think we went and added about 440 square feet to the house, which in the grand scheme of things for an unused area, I was really happy to get that addition to the home. I would say what I paid was incredibly worth the value, not only for myself and my daily life. I've become more active. I felt like once I actually paid for this, I would feel super guilty if I didn't use it. So I'm in the gym 5 days a week, which is something I've never done in my entire life. So in terms of myself, it was worth it, and then the value of the resale. We're not looking to sell our home anytime soon, but when we are, knowing that we have one of the biggest houses in the neighborhood, thanks to C3's addition, is a great selling point. I'm in sales and I work on referrals, so I know how important it is. I was so happy with being able to add space to my home that I felt like a lot of the homes in my neighborhood looked the same as mine, so they could, benefit from the addition of the space. And we have a neighborhood Facebook page that whenever you find a good vendor, there's no kickbacks, no soliciting, but just letting your neighbors know, hey, I found this person, they did a great job, they're trustworthy. So I wanted to share that with my neighborhood. So when Bruce and Chase came over the first time, I wanted to make sure they obviously knew what they were talking about. They came up with ideas. And one of the things that I loved the most, once we decided to move forward, was they actually sat down with me at my kitchen table and went over the contract. They made sure I understood everything that was written in there. I feel like most companies and most vendors I've worked with, it's just a click and sign in an email. So knowing that this was going to be a sizable investment and something that I was doing in my home, it was really nice that not only they took the time to come out and go through the ideas, but then after I said I was going to move forward, they could have sent me a document, but they sat down and made sure I knew exactly what the process was going to look like, and I was comfortable moving forward. One of the things I liked the most was the contractors and the crew that they brought forward. Now that was something that I kind of had to take a risk on after signing the contract, never met anyone else, but everyone that came through here was so nice. I have 2 small boys, and they were very understanding of child's items in the way, or always said hello to the boys when they were coming in. They would say goodbye to the boys at the end of the night. Usually they were already home from school. Sometimes we were eating dinner because they wanted to work so late, make sure that everything was done and put back in its place. So my son, whose bedroom is nearby, could have a good night's sleep in his room at the end of the evening. One of the best things that C3 did during the process was make sure the rest of my home was protected. So the gym area was not really right at the front door. So they went and did a protective coating down on the wood floor. They had to do a runner all the way up the stairs, and then they actually tarped off my son's bedroom because that was a walkway into the space that we were redoing. Again, they made it cleanly at the end of the night so we could walk through that space, but did retain the covering until the project was completed. I would absolutely recommend C3 to anyone who's looking for a remodel in their home. Not only was it professionally done, but their creativity in making sure that the addition was exactly what I was looking for was greatly appreciated. I've done so much renovation work in my home, additions, whether inside or outside, and C3 is one of 2 vendors that I would have back, the only vendor construction company that I would allow in my home in the future.